Greetings, 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 Mavi family all over the world. This is your chief. Alright, guys, the Wednesday message. 1 day, 2 days after VCon, the most unbelievable, craziest, mind-blowing, alright, heartfelt VCon. 3 days of magic. And whoever watching this Wednesday message, if you attended VCon, I know you got the click and the click and the click and the click multiple times throughout those 3 days, listening to the V partners, Japadas Bismarck and the one and only Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. And guys, I'm losing my voice, or I lost my voice slightly, so now you have the sexy voice version of your chief, your upline. And many of you may not know this, and a lot of you know this, that the Wednesday message originated as a VCon, a post-VCon video. So this is the OG, this is the original, alright, start of the Wednesday message. So like 7-8 years ago, after one VCon in Penang, I decided to do like a follow-through video for a few weeks to remind everyone of that click, of that magic they experienced at VCon. So there's consistency, and the promises they made to me about presentation and everything else. And it has not stopped for 8 years, guys. I think 8 years by now. It's crazy. But this is where it originated from. So this Wednesday message, week 41, all right, is the original, all right, start of the Wednesday message. So this is your chief, super excited. Today is like, 4 in the morning, but the evening before, on the 12th, I spent 4.5 hours listening to Japa and the one and only Dato Sri Vijay, our founders, our grand uplines, address the V ambassadors, your uplines, V Council, AVP and V partners. It was simply an unbelievable session with Dato Sri Vijay and Japa. And guys, I hope and pray that this VCon reached you here, that you got the click and the click and another click and another click, all right, and another click, guys. And I want you to understand, for those who attended VCon and those who couldn't watch VCon for whatever reason, all right, there'll be clips all over social media, and try your best to follow social media. Dato Sri Vijay's Instagram, my Instagram, the V Chief, and the V and QNet, and you will get that click, at least 1 or 2, by just watching the snippets of what Dato and Japa shared at this VCon. But for those of you who attended VCon, let me tell you something. Dato Sri Vijay always told me we live from VCon to VCon. That means your realization, all right, the passion that you have today, the belief, the power, the dream you found, you keep it alive. The decision you make, you keep it alive until the next VCon. And you come back to the next VCon, whether it's a digital VCon or physical VCon, recharge your energy, renew your belief, all right, reaffirm your dream, okay, and then you go to the next VCon and the next VCon. So attending VCon is no longer a choice, it's a necessity. Now this VCon was mind-blowing. All right, firstly, we broadcasted this VCon to 500,000 of Dato Sri Vijay's warriors around the world. And I loved it. I mean, it was simply unbelievable, guys. And to keep in line with the original version of the Wednesday message, this Wednesday message is to remind those who attended VCon, and even those who did not, my messages at this VCon. Now, I started off on day 1, if you remember, on a space suit. You can see it somewhere on social media, to remind you guys that you belong to the greatest family. That this is not only a company, but it's a group of dreamers who decided to start a revolution of evolution of the industry of network marketing. That you cannot put us together with the industry because we are in a league of our own, above the rest. That we are today the #1 e-commerce network marketing company in the world, and we are growing at a speed that the industry has never seen before. We are in every single freaking beautiful country in the world. All right? There's nothing that's going to stop us. And you belong to a family who watches each other's back, who are there for you in your sunny days and your darkest hours. And I went to space, seriously. I went to space to spread the message of rhythm and the beauty of QNet, the Complan, the products. And soon you will have VCon on another planet or in a space station in the middle of the universe. And this is to fulfill the mission and vision of Dato Sri Vijay to touch 1 billion hearts. He didn't restrict me to planet Earth. All right? And you have two founders, the great ones, Japa and Dato Sri Vijay, who by now can be sitting in an island and drinking mango juice for the rest of their lives, but they're still here, keeping the promise they made 23 years ago that this company is about changing lives, making a difference in society, communities, countries, that we are going to raise the bar higher every single day. We are going to, send a message of hope to the world that you don't have to die, all right, with a meaningless life of go to work, come back home, 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 and die broke. That there is hope if you embrace this industry, if you get married to QNet and make this a committed decision and you start your journey. We are with you, we guide you, we hold your hand, we stand by you for every battle, every challenge. You will have a chance, at least, of starting a serious journey as an entrepreneur. And one day, God willing, inshallah, you could make some money or make a lot of money and completely change how you live and your family's lives and keep inspiring people and keep changing lives every single day. And it's all you have to know, that it's possible. All right? And that was day one, and I celebrated from the space station with planet Earth behind me. You got to see that thing, it blew my mind. And day two, I came up, and this time it was not easy, it was a bit emotional. And I realized, I was telling Kuna and Sati, my brothers who were outside waiting for me, where I spoke about the dream. And I spoke about my dream, my Amma. And my house is full of her photos. But you just walk past, you see, okay. But watching that video of my mom on that screen at VCon brought so much emotions to me, but also reaffirmed the promise I made to her to keep the promise I made to all of you and Japa and Dato Sri Vijay. And I pray sincerely from the bottom of my heart that you found your dream. Not a dream, but the dream that you're willing to fight for, die for, that brings tears to your eyes and brings joy to your heart. And then you will do whatever it takes to make that dream into a reality. And if you found that dream, which I know you did, find it, then hang on to it tight, because now today you started your journey and the dream stealers are all out there. All right, so hang on to that dream real tight and keep it safely in your heart. And that dream will be your fuel, that will be your superpower, that will energize you every single day to never stop, to be consistent. Presentation, no more fear. And then I spoke about the power of making a decision. That you see, network marketing has to be one of the big decisions in your life. Your journey with QNet cannot be a hobby. It's not going to work. It cannot be something you're trying and then you hope you sign up, Adli, Arun, David and Sati on your left and right, and you automatically retire. You cannot. You will not even find the Arun, Adli, Sati and David with that mindset. That you got to take this journey seriously. That this got to be a big decision for you. And I promise you, it's the right decision with the right company and the right organization. So make it the decision. Make it a big decision. And your duty right now, from now until the next VCon, is to keep that decision alive and don't allow anything or anyone to kill that decision. Are you with me? All right? Don't allow the laughter of the non-believers. Don't allow the challenges you face in Google, media, whatever. Don't allow rejection. Don't allow anything to kill that decision. The ultimate power of a networker, if you look at the Max Out Kings and Queens, the V partners, they had the strength, they had the power, they had the tenacity, all right, to keep their decision alive no matter what. Keep your decision alive, all right? But make sure it's the decision, the big decision. And you have to make sacrifices and change the way you live. Because remember, big decisions require you to change, evolve, grow up, all right, and take this journey seriously. You have to give up something to get something, all right. You got to make sacrifices, but be proud of it. You got to pay the price, which sweat and tears and blood. But those are your feathers in the cap. You understand, your badges of honor that you wear. All right, but if you have made this the decision and you're going to keep the decision alive, it requires sacrifice, commitment, and paying the price. But you got to love it. And then I went on the next day and spoke about loving this journey, like Arun George spoke about. And you got to, accept the fact that you will face rejection. I face rejection. Japa faced rejection. Dato Sri Vijay faced rejection. But it never stopped us, because we understood that some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting somewhere. SW. Dato spoke about this. And they're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting QNet. Their rejection is coming from a place of fear. So remember what I told you, hug your prospect once they reject you, because they're lost. They're confused. They don't want to let go of the edge of the swimming pool to swim across the other side to financial freedom. Like Dato Sri Vijay says, if you don't let go the safety of the wall on this side of the swimming pool, you are never going to reach the other end of financial freedom and dreams becoming a reality. Are you with me? Right? But there are people like that. So some of them will say yes and some will say no. But don't allow the rejection to demotivate you, make you depressed. Don't cry. Don't. Smile and play that song. I don't care. I love it. You understand? And that's how I live. I laugh when I face a rejection. I go back to my car, because I know that the next rejection and the next rejection, and then I'll get a yes and another rejection. But I remember what Dato Sri Vijay told me 23 years ago. Patman, when you hit 1,000 rejections, you are financially free. And that's true. Right? So embrace the rejection. Embrace the journey. You got to love the journey. You got to love paying the price. You got to love the sacrifices. You got to love the pain, the sleepless nights. Right? Sleeping in your car because you're too tired to get into your house, guys. All right? You got to love the people who say, yes, I'll be there, and they don't come. You got to love doing training with 50 chairs and there's only 2 people. I've done it before. I've driven for 4 hours. With 100 chairs in the hall and nobody came. I don't care. I love it, because I know the day will come, all right, when my network will grow. As long as I don't quit, as long as I don't give up, I will make it. If you don't quit, you will make it. If you don't quit, you will make it. If you don't quit, you will make it, baby. All right, remember that message. Remember. So you got to love everything about the journey, the good and the bad. All right, because remember, it's not going to be a walk in the park, guys. I'm sorry to tell you this, because you're not asking for a lollipop. You're asking for financial freedom. Something that only 5% of the world has. And if you want to be one of those 5%, then there's a price to pay, but it's worth it. Every rejection, every tired day, all right, after tons of presentations and training, every time you feel like giving up and you don't, all of that accumulates your credit to reach closer to financial freedom. So if you don't quit, you will make it. I promise you guys that. I promise you. From my heart, I promise you, if you don't quit, baby, you will make it. All right? And then on the last night, before I brought up the great ones, Japa and Dato Sri, I spoke about the warrior, and I was so passionate. I snapped, guys. Because you got to be a warrior. This journey to financial freedom is a great adventure. And there's going to be so many battles, it's not funny. And if you want to win those battles, you got to switch on to warrior. From wimp to warrior. Take that switch, throw it away, and be a warrior. And fight every battle with your chest out. Even I'm wearing my Spartan 300 t-shirt. The warrior t-shirt, guys, today. And you got to be a warrior, and you got to stay strong, and you got to fight the negativity, the newspapers, the Google search, the enemies, the attacks, attacks from whoever, whatever. Just don't empower your enemies. That you are strong and you're not alone, because you're backed up by the V, the AVPs, the VCs, the V partners. You're backed up by your chief. You're backed up by Japadas, Bismarck, Dato Sri Vijay. You have an army of warriors with you for every fight. But fight for your dream. So if you found a dream you're willing to fight for and die for, then you don't have a choice. You can't be a whim. You got to be a warrior. And you got to fight every day in some fashion or another. The battle never stops. Because to reach the ultimate destination, you got to fight and be a warrior. I am a warrior. Remember, guys. And that's my messaging for this VCon. And it's important that you remember this. But most importantly, remember your dream. Remember your reason. Remember your why. No matter what happens, remember that you're not alone. And finally, guys, this VCon was magical because every night you heard from the great ones, Japadas, Bismarck and Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. And for 23 years, they are the reason we are where we are today. They are the reason why I am who I am today. They are the reason why nobody could stop us. Nobody could bring us down. Nobody could slow us down. Because when you have these two great men, Japa and Dato Sri Vijay, leading you from the front, the captain of our ship, the captains of our ship, as Adli said, then we are unstoppable, guys. That any company can say whatever they want. I don't care. They don't have Japadas Bismarck. They don't have Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. So if you want to know why I am telling you, if you don't quit, you will make it, that if you hold on strong to your dream, right, pay the price and fight every battle as a warrior. And I promise you, when you will reach financial freedom, it's because I know that we are being led by Japa and Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. I know the DNA in me came from them. I know that the foundation that all of us are standing on and building our organization of millions of people, that foundation was built by Japa and Dato Sri Vijay. And that simply means that is the freaking strongest foundation in the whole industry of network marketing, built with rhythm, built with love, care, warriorship, in service, servant leadership. Alright? That's what our foundation is built of. And guys, with Japa and Dato Sri Vijay with us, no more fear. Follow your heart. Be loyal to these two great men. Be loyal to their mission of touching 1 billion hearts. Be loyal to the DNA that they have instilled in everyone. Alright, the corporate guys in QNet, unbelievable. The corporate warriors of the V, unbelievable. The corporate warriors of Q Lifestyle, unbelievable. All, everyone, from every AVP, VC, V Elite Leader, Coin Service, Alliance, HODs, all the in-service members, the V partners, every one of us, we are built by Japa and Dato Sri Vijay. And as long as the DNA continues to go right to the last guy like you who just signed up yesterday, you don't need to understand what we are. You need to understand who we are. And I promise you, if you make this the decision, pay the price, never quit, be a warrior, and hang on to your dream, you will make it. Because this organization was built by the great ones, Japadas Bismarck and Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran.